Hello there. So obviously you clicked in this video because you want to learn more about Pokemon moves, how they work and what different kinds there are, Pokemon stats and what do they actually mean. So let us explore what a Pokemon move is, what it does, what Pokemon stats are, because these are crucial fundamentals to understand in order to become a better competitive Pokemon player. So first, let's try to understand what a move in Pokemon actually means. A move is essentially an action your Pokemon can take during a battle. Every move has an effect besides Splash, but we won't focus on that move because it's practically useless, so that's not what we'll be focusing on here. Essentially, a Pokemon can either go for a move which inflicts damage, such as Earthquake, inflicts a status condition such as Spoil, which will put the opposition Pokemon to sleep, boost your Pokemon stats with, for example, a Sword Stance, protect your Pokemon with Protect, Spiking, Shield, or Burning Bulwark. You can either deflect a move as well with Follow Me, and there's much more things you can do. Every Pokemon can either learn a wide variety of moves which either deal damage, are defensive, or is supportive. There are three main categories of moves in Pokemon. First off, we have Special Attack, which relies on the Pokemon Special Attack stat and the Pokemon which are being targets Special Defense stat in order to calculate how much damage is dealt. Then we have the Attack stat, which is a physical attack, which focuses on the Pokemon's attack stat and the targeted Pokemon's defense stat in order to calculate the damage dealt. Lastly, we have the Status move, which doesn't directly deal damage, but it can through something like a secondary effect of Toxic or Burn. It can also paralyze your Pokemon with a move like Thunder Wave, or it could put your Pokemon to sleep with something like a Spore, change your Pokemon's stats with moves such as a Calm Mind. If a Pokemon uses a move which is the same type as the Pokemon already is, it will gain a 1.5 boost. This essentially means that if Charizard uses Flamethrower, which is a fire type like Charizard, then the move will gain a 1.5 boost. This means that essentially the 90 power base move of the Flamethrower will now be a 135 power move. Now, let's move on to stats, but what exactly even is stats in Pokemon? Well, it's actually way simpler than you might think. Hear me out. Every Pokemon has 6 different stats which define their abilities and capabilities in battles. First up, we have hit points, or for short HP. HP is essentially your Pokemon's overall health, and the higher the stat is, the more damage your Pokemon can take before it faints. Next up, we have attack. This is the attack stat which your Pokemon uses when inflicting damage with a physical move. After that, we have defense. This is a stat which the Pokemon uses to absorb physical attacks such as Earthquake to calculate how much of its HP will be lost. Then we have speed, which is how fast your Pokemon is, and this will be compared to every Pokemon active on the field to decide which Pokemon goes first. However, if 2 or more Pokemon have the same speed stat, it's called a speed tie. In this scenario, there is a 50-50 or 33-66, 25-75, you get what I'm saying. Chance that your Pokemon will move first, depending on how many Pokemon that has the same speed stat. Essentially, Pokemon just flip a coin and it's a 50-50. Next off, we have this special defense. Special defense is essentially the same as defense. However, instead of taking the attack stat into calculations, this one takes the special attack stat into calculations. Lastly, we have special attack stat, which is the attack stat a Pokemon uses when it uses a special attack move such as Moonblast. So to understand these stats is very important in competitive Pokemon, because if you don't understand these correctly, you can put your Pokemon in serious danger. For example, having a Pokemon with a high speed stat but a low HP stat might be a very good quick sweeper. However, if it doesn't get the KO straight away, it can be very fragile due to its very fragile defense. For example, if you have a Pokemon with a high speed stat and a low HP stat, it is considered a quick sweeper. This can be very good in certain scenarios when you just want to get a hit off very quickly. However, if your Pokemon doesn't pick up that KO, it is in serious danger because of its fragile HP. Obviously, there is endless possibilities in the way you can play your Pokemon, so don't take this as this is the only way you can play them. Obviously, you can play your Pokemon however you want to. This was just 2 different scenarios of how you could play your potential Pokemon. Remember, trainers, when you start to experience with different movesets for your Pokemon, remember to EV train them and make sure they have the right IVs and abilities. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then check out this video I already made for it. And as always, if you have any questions for today's video or something else you would like me to explain and dive deeper into, then make sure you leave that comment down in the comment section below. And if you don't have anything, just let me know down if you prefer a fast sweeper or a bulky one. My name is Berg, and in today's video I told you what Pokemon moves is and what stat is. Until next time, happy gaming.